The more freedom a people receive, the more comfortable they seem to become with their present state of freedom. And tragically, individuals in this nation and around the world seem to think of freedom as their right to do whatever they want, or to act solely in their own best interest. But Peter Marshall reminds us, we must not think of freedom as the right to do whatever we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right. The more freedom a people receive, the more willing we must be to use that freedom in defense of our own liberties and of the liberties of others. No one can be caught swimming in the dangerous waters of apathy when so much is at stake. And no one can afford to go it alone when a larger community of liberty-loving people is the most sure security for our future freedoms. Freedom has never been an excuse to sit back and complain or say that it's somebody else's problem. Rather, it is the rallying cry for us to become involved, to learn, to understand, to grow, and to engage in our free society. The history of America is a history of a proud and persevering people. It is not a history solely of individuals, but of the movements that those individuals inspired, took part in, and changed the country and the world with. It was the people who threw off the chains of the British Empire, who created a new government, and who laid the groundwork for protecting and gaining more freedoms in the future. It was the people who fought a bloody and hard war over freeing the slaves, who gave more people the right to vote, and who to this day fight to ensure equal protection and just laws nationwide. It is the people who have cured diseases, mapped almost every corner of the earth, and eventually left our home to walk on the moon. It is the people who won 2 world wars against an evil enemy, laid the groundworks for a future global government, and began to pursue the goal of global peace. When Americans use their freedom, they can achieve greatness they didn't know was possible. And so it is my fervent hope that the generations of Americans will stand up and unify, and that union will light a fire that will burn bright and provide warmth and hope to those in the world who are alone or destitute. That union and our actions in pursuit of what is right, in pursuit of courteous civil discourse and constant civil action, will build a beacon out of this nation. And the light from that beacon will build a memorial in heaven of the people we were, of what we stood for, and of our incredible accomplishments. That beacon will cast out the dark shadows of our future and tell future generations what we stood for and where their path of progress and prosperity came from. We must recognize that while there are a few things that make us different, there is a great deal that makes us the same. And as Abraham Lincoln said, it is with malice toward none and charity toward all that we must stand and reach out our hands in selfless acts of service and kindness, of brotherly love and sisterly love, with the effort to extend civil liberties and protect the freedoms of our fellow citizens. None of us should ever be frightened to use our voices in order to help protect those who do not have voices of their own. And we should never feel scared of simply leaning on others for support to buoy us up and strengthen our arguments when we fight for justice. The history of America is a history of hope, and it is a tale of enlightenment. It's a story that has been forged for hundreds of years on the backs of ordinary men and women. We must be willing to acknowledge our past mistakes and numerous shortcomings, but we shouldn't be afraid of having pride in the justice that this nation has received and accomplished. We should look to our past and feel happiness when we examine our accomplishments, and we should stretch our minds to the future and recognize our immense potential for greatness. It's time that Americans began to realize their brilliance, to see their potential, and to recognize the power of their free communities. It's time that we stopped villainifying those we disagree with, that we stood hand in hand, arm in arm, and realized our full angelic potential to change the world forever if we will simply use our hard-won freedoms. Thank you.